Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Critical Podcast. My name is Jimmy Good, and I am your host. And joining me this week is one of my go-to podcast compadres, Mr. Levi Fletcher. Levi, how are you doing this fine week, my friend?
Heyo, how's it going, guys?
That's not an answer to my question. How are you doing? They need to know.
Heyo, how's it doing?
He's like, I'm dead inside.
Hey, what's up, you guys?
Also, everyone should know we are recording later than usual, so if our opinions or maybe just the way we speak is a little crazier, that's the reason why. It's not because we're just so excited to be here, but I mean, we are.
Night streams.
late night thoughts and feelings.
Late night thoughts and feelings, yep.
Yes. To anybody who is brand new here, we like to talk about games, movies, TV, theme parks, music, pretty much anything entertainment related. And for everybody who's joining us once again, who've watched one episode or a bunch of episodes, thank you so much for returning. We'll try to throw out a hashtag there at the end for at least Ryan, but anybody else, because we like to see and hear who's listening. Except we can't really hear you. Anyway, let's talk about some news first. Levi, Aquaman, you loved it. You gave it a 10 out of 10. You said you'd watch it again and again. What if I told you that there was a spin-off in the works already?
Yikes. Well, the first part's not true. Okay. Aquaman was actually surprised me. Because about a year ago, I talked some major shit about it.
It wasn't like a year ago. It was just a couple of months.
This is 6 months ago. Yeah. Feels like a year. I heard it's going to be like horror-esque. That bold, DC, bold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be based on The Trench, which was that sequence of like those creepy, like they used to be Atlanteans, but now they're like creepy mer people with like claws, and they attack, Momoa and Amber Heard on the boat. And there's the whole flare sequence. So they're going to make it based on those creatures. How excited are you?
Confused.
Yeah, I was a little confused too. And I don't know if this is just because like James Wan, maybe, I don't know exactly how much he's going to be involved with this, because I was trying to read through it and find out. But we know that he is someone who makes horror movies. That's kind of one of his things. Mm-hmm. And I'm not completely surprised that if they like went to him and they said, hey, James, like, where would you take this franchise to kind of build off of it? And he was like, let's talk about The Trench. Like, they're like, he picked out one very hyper specific like area of that film to focus on. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I wonder why.
Saw. I was like, where have I heard his name before? I've seen Saw, all of the Saws actually. So.
Well, he's mostly known for like The Conjuring and Annabelle. Is that what it is? Like,
well, and he directed Saw too. Yeah.
Was it the first Saw?
Mm-hmm.
Was that really okay? And then he's also done one of the
Conjuring. Yep, Chapter 2, Insidious. So all those.
That's what it
really
is.
Popular. Those really popular ones right now, those horror movies.
The Trench, I wonder also too, because this did really well overseas, a pun intended. I wonder if that was another reason, like a lot of people enjoyed that aspect of it, and maybe that was what they're like, okay, when people came out of the theater, they're like, hey, what was the coolest thing in this movie? And people were like, The Trench, and they're like, we will make a movie on The Trench. It just, I don't know how you're going to do this, especially if you don't have the main characters in there, because they said that, like, Momoa I don't think is going to be in this at all. Like, Aquaman might not be in this movie. What needs to happen in this movie, or who needs to be in it for you, Levi, to be like, okay, I'll maybe check it out?
You see, Aquaman might not be in this movie.
He's not going to be in it.
Yikes! Don't even do it then. No, seriously, honestly, no, because people aren't gonna. Who are you gonna have?
Yeah, I don't know if they just make new characters or if they make like humans.
This doesn't have to be a feature film. This can be like a Netflix or like a CW.
Oh my. Just as like a CW thing, whatever.
With like Angel and Buffy the Vampire Slayer type.
Oh my gosh, that would be so cool. Oh, I'd love it. Angel and Buffy reunion, but they're on a boat and then they have to go into the trench. That'd be really cool. Yeah, I don't know. I think this will still come out, but it'll obviously be a way smaller budget. And I think that's what they're hoping for, is that they're going to start doing this where we have like our big tent poles like Aquaman, and then you kind of make a few that branch off of it for a way, way tinier budget and hope to kind of ride that wave, again, pun intended, of success and just make a lot of money off that. So you make like a film that's at like $20 or $30 million budget, and you bring in like $100 million right there, and it's like, that's really good.
I really wish they would have focused more on her backstory. I think I'm more interested in that than a horror film spinoff.
Yeah, I wonder if it's interesting enough though. That's the question, right? Because like she was a princess.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems like a weird move to me, but DC, every time I think DC has a good idea, they usually come up with 2 or 3 bad ones. And as these other people have stated, I've kind of been looking around, but DC is not really tight, like when it comes to not talking about their movies. It seems like we hear about all their projects and then many of them get canceled. So we'll see if this happens with The Trench. Like, unlike Marvel, with most of the stuff, it either gets turned into a TV show like Inhumans, but most of their stuff doesn't get canceled when a movie actually gets kind of like leaked. But this sort of thing, I wouldn't be surprised if they're like, all right, actually, we're not doing the Trench thing. It's weird and we're not doing it anymore. Be like, yep,
Yeah.
sounds about right.
And Marvel's very like tight-lipped, and also like they know like they're not going to release something unless they have like a really good footing on where it's going.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they have, that's the thing.
Black Widow. That makes me nervous.
They're just doing that because people have been wanting that forever. They've just wanted a Black Widow movie.
A rated R Black Widow movie.
We'll see. And I know Bob Iger recently said in an earnings call that they're still going to do R-rated films for Marvel. Like, they're still going to do that. Deadpool 3, you know, which I'm sure will come. I'm sure that will stay R-rated, and they'll kind of have that group, which would be cool because then we could still get like a Punisher, maybe a Wolverine one day, just like Logan, but not.
Disney's always had a blanket of like other heavier projects like Pirates of the Caribbean and stuff, so that doesn't surprise me.
Well, not like they have, but it's never, they had like was it
not to that extent though, huh?
What was it? It was not Paramount. It was another Touchstone. That was like their other thing they owned, and that's where they put like their R-rated movies. So maybe Disney will do that again, where it's like it's still Disney, but you don't know it's Disney. Like ESPN, you might not know that. So I'm interested to see where that goes. But that's the thing about having that kind of roadmap, and that's why the connected universe, I think, also works well if you plan it out, because DC is like, oh, we have the worlds of DC, so they can just like go anywhere, so they have a lot of flexibility. That just means that once in a while we're going to get something like this, and then it makes people sad that they're not going to try to tackle another one of these, you know, superheroes or villains. Like, for me, this just like takes more focus off Deathstroke ever happening. Like, it's just like that, like slower and slower.
You know what I think of when I think of DC films? Mancala.
Oh my god!
Think about that for a second.
Yeah, keep going.
You put one stone in, and you get 2. And then you put 3 in, then you go back to 1. You know, you keep going. I mean, you see what I'm going?
I totally get where you come from, man. That's a really good analogy.
People are gonna be like, "What's Mancala?"
The board game. Check it out.
Yes. Oh, that's Morty. So yeah, I feel like they're always taking a step forward and then a couple steps back. Like, why don't we focus on some of these flagships that are proven to be really popular? Let's do Wonder Woman. Let's stick with that. Let's stick with, you know, like we could do anything else. Let's get some more Flash. Let's get some more, like, you know, cyborg kind of things going on. Yeah, people aren't interested to hear about all this other stuff, I don't think.
I know Wonder Woman's already working on 2, and they also have developments for 3 because it did so well. I think Cyborg is in a weird spot because he's going to be in the Doom Patrol, and that's like the DC streaming service stuff, which is, and it's going to be a different Cyborg. Flash keeps, do you know the Doom Patrol, Levi? Like Beast Boy was on from Teen Titans and stuff.
Yeah.
But then, like, Flash keeps losing and gaining directors, and they keep having issues with that. We'll see how Shazam does, because I think that will help them too. But I don't know if we reported on this last week or if we just found out, but like Batman, like Ben Affleck's out as Batman. He's like out. Yeah. Like, he's gone. So, which is kind of weird. It's like we gotta see that movie now. Which, man, it feels so weird. It feels so weird. And that's the problem with having a group like Warner Brothers, who's so reactionary, and they just they're like always, instead of trend setting like Marvel has, they just seem like, oh, it's you like this one thing, we'll do more of this thing, and it's just like, just try to do your own. So is Henry Cavill still out too? No, so like there's this kind of back and forth on it. Jason Momoa said a few weeks ago, he's like, no, he's still in. Yeah, so is there like for Justice League 2 or I don't know. That's a good question, because Man of Steel 2 was like being talked about a while ago, and they said like it was going to happen. I don't know. What is happening with this? I don't know. I don't understand the roadmap for this series. Like, maybe that's the problem, is like we have too much information nowadays. Like back in the day, you kind of just like you got it as it came out, and they maybe had some previews in the newspapers or whatever. Yeah. But like to this extent, now we just have like every day there's always like someone tweet something. You know, I miss just like Batman Beyond and Dark Knight, and I miss that. Like they focus on one thing. That wasn't really DC, but
kind of
Batman Begins, not Batman.
Yeah, Batman Begins,
Okay,
and Batman Beyond too. Like,
yeah,
they focus on, and that wasn't really DC, was it? It was more like
it
Warner Brothers.
was the problem with where the problem all started. It's that Christopher Nolan came in and made Batman Begins, and it was so good. And then it was kind of a thing where he'd make a movie for Warner's, and then he'd make a movie that he wanted to make because they'd be like, "All right, you can make your own movie now." And then he'd make Dark Knight, then he'd get to do another movie that he wanted to make. And it was back and forth, and that's what stalled them out so far from making their own cinematic universe. Because I think Dark Knight. Was it Dark Knight or Dark Knight Rises came out the same year as Iron Man? I think it was Dark Knight Rises.
I think it was 2008 that Dark Knight came out.
Was it Dark Knight that came out?
Oh, that was the same. It was the same. Yeah, same summer as Iron Man. Then.
Okay, because that was. I just want to fact check it quick because I'm so curious because I remember thinking like
did we? I'm just looking back and like, did we need to start this universe? Was this necessary? And do we still need to continue it?
Yeah, I wonder if like at this point they feel like they are,
they're committed.
They're committed. Yeah, like you think it's crazy to think that 2 years ago, I think it was like a year and a half, but 2017, that Thor Ragnarok beat out the Justice League, which had Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman and Flash. Like it's so nuts to me that like they bungled it so much.
Where, the marketing for Justice League was not great.
Well, that and I think a lot of it was soured on the fact that Batman vs Superman was so all over the place, and people weren't like really stoked for that movie. And I think they're just trying to kind of plow ahead because they know they have money. You know, they know they can make it, but they're not. They're just so they don't know what they want to do with it. It's so crazy.
Oh, Batman vs Superman. Oh,
again, it's Christopher Nolan's fault. Christopher Nolan is great, and those movies for the most part are really good. But the problem is that dark and gritty tone. Like, Warner Brothers just saw that, and they're like, "So all of our movies should be like that." Or Zack Snyder saw it, and he's like, "We should definitely do dark and gritty." It's like Superman shouldn't be like, And I'm subjectively saying this, not objectively. Superman shouldn't be dark and gritty. I think that overall Superman fits in a pantheon that's a little more like how Marvel's been doing it lately with, the bright and colorful and usually kind of happy tones, whereas Batman fits the dark and gritty thing perfectly. Like, you can keep making dark and gritty Batman movies forever. If you made one that was all happy and go lucky, it would be kind of weird to see that, like a live action Batman, besides like the old TV shows. Yeah. So I don't know. It's just, they're so reactionary, and it seems like everything they do is just whatever the last one did well. They're just like, we're just going to do that one thing, as opposed to like learning from it. And I feel like Wonder Woman's the only thing they've got going right now.
Yeah. Well, Aquaman too, I'd say.
Yeah. Oh, sure. I mean, like Wonder Woman by her, like where they're like, all right, we're going to make a trilogy for her. It's like, I hope they're planning out an Aquaman trilogy, and I still want those two characters to interact. I still want, Flash and Cyborg, and like, that would be nice if they could flesh them out. And I would also I hope Shazam is cool. Cause like, if you don't know what to do with Superman right now.
When does that come out?
March or maybe February. I don't know. It's coming out soon. I want Shazam to be cool, because maybe that's who they're thinking about replacing Superman with. Not that you could replace him, but on a team, he's got similar powers to an extent. So maybe they're gonna take Gal Gadot and Jason Momoa and kind of move them to the Batman Superman position. Kind of say, hey, you are two like super people, and you sign contracts the rest of your lives. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway,
it's hard to put energy into the DC universe anymore for me. Like, I see something new come out and I'm like, it's like, cool, I'll check it out. But it's a lot easier to just focus on Marvel, where like, that's where it is. That's where I know I'm not going to be disappointed.
Yep. Which just reminds me that last DC movie I saw, Aquaman, this guy sat next to me and he kept talking to the whole movie. And if anyone does that to me during Avengers Endgame, I swear it's going to be the end for somebody. All right. It's going to be a real life ending. No, I didn't know this guy. I didn't know him. Should have shut up. Should have been like, hey, buddy. Yeah. No. Be like, please, Gesundheit. I don't. Just, if you're listening to this, please don't talk in the theaters. If you have a friend there with you, you can whisper to him once in a while. But please don't comment on everything. Please do that for me. I don't know why people keep doing this. They even say in the beginning of the movie, now they're like, please no talking. And it's like, are people just like, like, it just doesn't.
I'm gonna make sure during Endgame that I'm just like, Jimmy, what are you doing next Tuesday?
Like, I'm gonna kill. I have certain friends in real life that I know can't help themselves, but like they overreact to things, and I just want to. It's just like, hey man, I love that you're really excited about this, but it's so hard for me to focus when you're
Are
like,
you talking about me?
yes, you. No, you're fine, man. You're great. Except there, I remember watching Amazing Spider-Man 2 with you, and you like grabbed my leg during the Gwen Stacy sequence.
Oh yeah, because that killed me. That was
That was
nuts.
so funny. I was like, and we saw it on like 9:30 on like a Saturday morning with a bunch of kids. I was like, oh, the kids are probably like, oh.
I think that's what killed me. I was like, what? Yeah.
That movie was bad.
Yeah.
Honestly, though, if someone said, do you want to see Amazing Spider-Man 3 versus like The Trench? I'd probably see The Trench. I'd be like, you know what? Sounds good.
Yeah.
Let's move on to some more news here, Levi. Let's stick with movies for a second. There's a teaser for a little low-budget kind of fan film coming out called Frozen 2. I'm just kidding. Frozen, one of the big... Huh?
Indie Kickstarter.
Yeah. I forget what the numbers were, but I remember Frozen being really high up there on like the Disney list for like all-time best sales, like up there with Lion King and stuff, where it's kind of like the modern Lion King. Wouldn't you say, like, in a way, like it seems to be prevalent through everything and people keep talking about it, and Let It Go has been played a billion times. We know. Levi, how many times did you see this in theaters?
What did I say? 3?
Yeah.
2 times with you and one time with someone else.
And how many times did I see it?
4 or 5?
That's right. I saw it 4. I'm the Frozen King. I'm the Night King, baby. Game of Thrones.
You couldn't let it go.
Oh, yeah. You said 3, Levi, and I didn't even say nil after it because I'm trying to be good. Yeah, I saw Frozen so many times because I kept getting slushies.
Little segue before we jump into this. Have you heard of the Frozen theory that Shane Dawson just talked about on his big conspiracy theory video?
I do not watch Shane Dawson, so no.
Oh, well, 30 billion views and counting. Anyway.
What?
Oh, yeah, he's pretty popular right now.
Skip.
So Disney, the theory is that Disney was sick of all these people Googling Walt Disney freezing his body, cutting his head off and like freezing it and stuff like that. So they made Frozen so that all the searches come up as Frozen.
Okay.
Yeah. Like Disney was like trying to like cover it up that like Walt did that. And it's a stretch, but it when he puts it out and like you see the searches from 2000 to 2011, and then you see the searches from when Frozen came out to now, it's like completely different.
Okay, I guess maybe
it's just weird. I was like, oh, okay. I didn't think about it.
So this guy's got like 30 billion views, right? And this is the kind of stuff he's doing. We're trying to make quality podcasts, and this guy's like, well, this is probably what they did. Bring back Ask Millie.
Subscribers,
Bring back those guys, and then his buddies. They tried to trademark the word freaking reacts or whatever. You can't trademark a word like that. It's ridiculous. Get out of here. Bring back Ask Millie. Do it. I want to have Joe watch that because he's terrified of puppets, and it would just really send him over the edge. Like
he's a reaction video for him.
He's unwilling to watch puppets or Muppets, and Muppets aren't even that scary. Anyway, Frozen 2. Now, Frozen 1. Yes, I said I saw it 4 times, twice with you, Levi. People kept bringing me, and they wanted to see it. I forget exactly who I saw it with every time.
I saw it with you twice.
Yeah, I saw it like with I think Katie, our community manager, and then I think my family, like my mom or something, want to see it.
No, your mom. No, we went with your sister one of the times because your mom wasn't feeling well.
Oh, maybe
she was in the hospital. We were supposed to go with her.
Oh yeah. That's
It was like me, you, Katie, and Michaela.
Maybe or Bailey.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Side note: I got a text from my mom recently, and it said I made Twitter. She made it, apparently. So,
well, where's the?
I don't know what your username
like,
is.
I'm getting a mansion.
I'm kind of proud. I have a really good feeling like she's just gonna skyrocket.
Jimmy's mom's been holding out on him this whole time. She's really a billionaire.
That would be incredible.
She's just a hologram, and she's really like somewhere else.
She's like, sweetie, you only have like less than like 600 subs on YouTube because I've got like less than 600,000. She's like 500,000, but it's still pretty good. I'd be like, you kidding me? Goodness. Yeah, I like Frozen. I don't love it, but I like it. There's a lot of things in that first movie that I think they did really well. And one of my favorite things is kind of bucking the norm and kind of saying like, hey, maybe some of these things that have been in older Disney movies are kind of a joke, like two people singing one song and then getting engaged. Like even like Elsa was like, yeah, you can't just marry someone you just met. So I love that. Frozen 2. Go watch the trailer. It's only 2 minutes long. Even if you're not invested in Frozen at all, I've been seeing a lot of people say that they didn't like the first Frozen, but they were really, really interested in this one. And I think it's a really gripping trailer. There's a lot of this it's a teaser, so it's got the music that's kind of like amping up and stuff. But there is this tension, and there's kind of like an epic quality to everything. It feels kind of like Lord of the Ringsy in that they're like in these kind of like dark rocks and they're like trying to overcome these obstacles and you don't exactly know what's going on. And I think that's really, really cool. It's like,
assuming she's looking for her parents.
That's the thought.
That's the first thing that came into my head.
So let's I watched a little video on this too. So because people are breaking this down, but IGN, everybody goes IGN. So there's a shot of a young woman and somebody getting kind of thrown up in the air with like wind magic or something. A lot of people were saying, oh, that's got to be Elsa's love interest because everyone's kind of pushing for Elsa to be lesbian in the mythos. Whatever, it doesn't matter. The thing that's interesting about the two characters they show briefly is they do look a little bit like Anna and Elsa's parents. So this might have been a flashback. And there's a chance that the young woman we see here could have been like maybe Anna and Elsa's mom, who had like wind magic, maybe back in the day. Again, this is all theoretical, but it would kind of make sense that they passed on some magic to Elsa, when she was a baby. Like she passed on that magic.
And they're going to find people with fire magic and earth magic. And it's going to be
Avatar. Dude, what I wanted really badly, because they kept showing the leaves, I was like, it's got to be Pocahontas, right? Like paint with all the colors of the wind. It's moving closer and closer to my Avengers style princess-led movie with these characters. You got Elsa, you got Rapunzel, you got Moana. Like you just bring them all together somehow and you have them go fight.
Like shit.
Dude, it would be so cool. And the great part about it is that it appeals to everybody because like you're going to get all the kids in. Because like even the little boys who are like, I don't like care about this. If they saw a bunch of like people fighting with magic and stuff, they'd be like, wow. I'd be like, yeah, let's do it. Like that'd be so cool, right? And I'll talk about it later. But I saw the newest Wreck-It Ralph, and the best part is when the princesses all group up together. Man, that is like a really, really good concept. Like a really good concept to get all of those princesses with all their magical powers and abilities together as a group. Man, that is something interesting. But what did you think of Frozen 2 trailer?
Well, going back to Frozen, before all the hype and before it got like super, super just ungodly, unmanageable, I really enjoyed Frozen. I liked the songs, I liked the setting, I liked the story. It was cute. And then it just kind of got blown way up, and I was just like, I can't hear this song one more time. And no, but I saw this trailer and I was like, holy crap, the graphics look just amazing. It almost looked real at first, and I was like, no, this is a Pixar movie.
Not a Pixar, Disney Animation.
Oh, yeah, Disney Animation, sorry, but it looks really good.
They're better than Pixar.
Yeah.
What?
I would agree with that. Yeah. Looks really good. Yeah, I'm interested to see where the story goes. I'm glad they didn't show too much. I don't want to see too much. You need to show me too much for me to want to see this.
I think if someone were to ask me to design a teaser for Frozen 2, I would have gone in such a jolly direction. There would have been way more Olaf. There would have been like Sven, like licking Kristoff. There would have been that kind of stuff that would have, appealed to what people loved about the first one. But I think doing this makes it seem like Frozen is way more serious than it ever has been. Not that Frozen 1 wasn't serious, but I think when you think back to it, you think of Let It Go, you think of Olaf.
Some May sniping in this.
Need some what?
Some May sniping, like with her icicle gun.
Oh, you want to snipe him?
Just Elsa taking like icicles and
that'd be cool. All I want is a return of Marshmallow, her snow golem, which is one of the greatest golems ever of all time. In just Kingdom Hearts maybe loved even more, but I want him to come back because he was incredible. I love him. But I love that we're looking at this new world. It gave me very God of War vibes, and I was like tweeting at Corey Barlog. I was like, hey man, like, Norse mythology. What do you think's going on here? Like, is there any chance that this is any Norse mythos thing at all? Like, because that world is very like Reminds me very much of God of War. I'm like, all right.
But we have that with How to Train Your Dragon, so I don't really want. I don't know.
Kind of, I guess. Yeah.
How to Train Your Dragons is very like Norse and like very like that kind of Viking-esque. And
did you notice that they at the end of this trailer that they leaned heavily into that kind of like that Frozen? They call like the theme, not Let It Go is like the theme song, but like that hey like they're trying to do that again. There's like that cool like heart fire around her that she's protecting Olaf from. Yep. Like it seems really intense, and I really like it. But you're right. But that doesn't mean Disney's not going to try to tackle it just because How to Train Your Dragon might.
No, I get it. I just it'll be when it's not coming out this year, right?
Yes, it is.
What?
This is the year of Disney, dude. Dude, okay. Frozen 2, Lion King, Avengers Endgame, Toy Story 4. Those 4 films right there will be in the top 5 most highest grossing films of this year. I can put good money on it. I will.
And then some runners up are going to be like Captain Marvel and Spider-Man.
Oh man, those, and then you still. I don't know how Dumbo's really going to fare, but I'd still think it'll do.
I think Dumbo's going to do like. I think Dumbo's going to do like.
Oh, Aladdin, which we should talk about here in a second.
Yeah.
Aladdin.
I think Dumbo's going to do like. I hope it does better than the Nutcracker. But I'm afraid that it might be on the same kind of like excitement scale,
Yeah, well, that's true. I think it'll do a little bit better because it's got better name recognition. Yeah, because every year it seems like they do like a Nutcracker or a Wrinkle in Time or something. I know they're doing Artemis Fowl, which I don't remember if it's this year or next.
That's a Disney thing.
It is a Disney thing. Disney does this where they like buy up these books. And they're like, we're gonna do live action. And like it's like it doesn't usually do super well, but they still make it.
Can you imagine a Disney Harry Potter? Like,
yeah, just a Disney Crimes of Grit. Don't even get me started, Levi. People said they wanted a video on that, Levi, where like we sit down and talk about that movie. That movie's garbage. Yeah, it would. I'd make like a 15-minute video, 17 minutes, just freaking yeah. But anyway, Frozen 2 trailer. You're on board. Hypometer. Give me a scale 0 to 100 or 0 to 10.
I'm at 10.
You're at a 10?
I'm at a 10. Listen, like I said, I didn't just go to the theater for no reason and spend my money to see this animated Disney movie at 24 years old or whatever, over and over. How old were we? What was it, 2011?
No, it was 2004 or 5.
Frozen?
Yeah, I'm checking it right now.
The first Frozen.
Release date 2013, baby.
Oh, you're saying like 4 or 5, not 2004 or 2005.
No, 2013. Okay. I'm sorry. Did I say 2004? I meant to say 2013. 2014 is what I'm saying. Okay. I meant to say like 4 or 5 years ago. Whoops.
No, gotcha.
2013. Yeah, which is crazy to think how popular that film was, and that it's taken 6 years. Like, I think they had other stuff in the pipeline, and then it just went insane, and they're like, let's put that as the next thing. And they're like, dude, the next thing is going to be like in 6 years. And they're like, put it as the first freaking thing. Like, just put it right there. Like, Moana 2 can wait. It's like,
I still got to see that movie. Like I said, I really enjoyed Frozen. I liked the characters a lot. I liked how it was different. It was a heroine movie. It was, it was just different. It broke a lot of different, cliches and tropes. And, yeah, I'm really excited for it. I think it looks really good. And I'm excited to see where they take the story.
Yes. So wait, so you're at the highest you could possibly be.
Yes, because it's been a long build-up, and I know that it's in good hands.
Okay.
So
I'm gonna give it 90 degrees. It's sweltering.
You're close. Yeah.
It's melting, man. And it's good because after playing again Kingdom Hearts, just seeing more Frozen and just having it be like the same thing, which isn't really a spoiler. It's Frozen.
Well, maybe I'll dial it down just a bit, not to be so dramatic. I'll say about good 95.
Okay. I want there to be the next Let It Go. I want there to be something that kind of progresses along, because I'm sure like Circle of Life was in a similar boat, maybe not as bad because the internet wasn't as much a thing, but I just one of those, like, I want them to move on and not just be defined by one song on one thing, which it's a great song and it's a great sequence. It is really, really good. I just want to see where they could take these characters, and also maybe develop Kristoff a little bit. He's just kind of there as being like the backup love interest.
Yeah.
And he's so boring. Like, him and Sven are like, okay, you're here. Yeah. He's nowhere near as cool as like Flynn from Tangled, which is a better movie, I think, than Frozen. But still, okay, so we're vibing on that. But we do need to talk about another Disney thing. I did mention it here, Aladdin. Levi, tell me about the new reveal trailer for Aladdin. Feelings, gut reactions.
I think it looks okay.
Yep.
I think they could have picked a more attractive actor for Aladdin, but
Oh.
just my opinion.
Well, the thing is that he is they picked their cast mainly, like one of the reasons they picked the way they did is that he's from that area. It's not, they didn't just like whitewash it or anything, which I appreciate.
No, I mean, it doesn't have to be. I mean, I'm just saying, like, that just doesn't do it for me. That specific actor.
Aladdin's not hot, confirmed. Get him out of here. We don't want him.
I am. I know that people are really just picking apart this trailer.
Mostly the Genie.
Mostly Genie, and I think that he looks fine.
You think he looks fine?
I think he looks fine. I mean, we'll see. Let's wait till we see the full thing.
Sure.
I always feel like when you take such an iconic character like that, you really have to see how they really flesh it out. That's why I was really nervous about Jungle Book, and once they did it, it was fine. Everything seemed to fit just good, just well. So
wonder, I feel like it's a very, how should I say, Goldilocks situation. First, he wasn't blue. People were freaking out about it because he was like in his humanoid form, and now he's too blue. And maybe it's because we're using Will Smith's face on this body, and it doesn't seem like they manipulated that very much. Whereas with Robin Williams, when you look back, it's not like they took Robin Williams' face, because like the Genie has a way pronounced like chin, and he's like kind of got his own look, but he's got the Robin Williams flavor to it. They didn't make a new Genie here and try to like kind of manipulate that because this is a live action film. So I think that's the jarring aspect of it, because it feels like it's his face superimposed onto this Genie, maybe that's where the weirdness comes from. At least that's where the weirdness comes from with me. But I don't think it's, like you said, I want to see it in action. We saw like one little snippet of it, and I know they must be taking this seriously because there's a lot of money riding on it, and they want people to like these things.
Yeah,
I don't know how
I haven't had a very good track record with Disney live action.
I don't see them in theaters, honestly.
I was not a big fan of Beauty and the Beast. I was not a big fan of Snow White or Maleficent, and they just haven't really done it for me. Nutcracker wasn't great.
Okay, well, Nutcracker's different. It's not one of these things.
Disney live action, though. You know what I mean? Like,
sure.
I feel like...
but Wrinkle in Time, I wouldn't put up there with like Beauty and the Beast. Like, I don't know how you could have made Beauty and the Beast any better than it was.
I don't really think that it's bad, but it's I don't know, like, I'm trying to think of how to describe it. It almost feels like you're eating a bland cookie.
Oh,
the like a bland sugar cookie. Like, it looks really pretty, but it's a little needs more flavor.
Dang, you're all with the analogies tonight. I like it.
I'm really trying. Good. Yeah,
he's trying. You're succeeding. You're doing really good. I like it a lot. Yeah. I don't know. I still want to see Aladdin because Aladdin really is one of my favorite Disney films. I really, really do enjoy it. I just want to see how the musical numbers take hold. I think Disney does a really good job with that typically. This is such a unique challenge, kind of like Lion King.
Well, and the thing is, I have never been a huge fan of Aladdin. Okay. I don't really like the levels on Kingdom Hearts. They're actually my least favorite to play.
Really? Not Alice in Wonderland or The Little Mermaid?
Those are also terrible too. Yeah, yes. That's why I stopped playing the first one.
Yeah,
some hard levels to get through.
Wait, did Alice stop you, or was it Little Mermaid?
No, Little Mermaid. Yeah, because I beat
Little Mermaid's freaking tough.
I did Alice. I did a little bit of Winnie the Pooh that you could do. Did Nightmare Before Christmas, and then I was just like, nope, can't do these controls.
Yeah, I hear that.
I can appreciate you from afar.
Yeah, for sure. And then in the next game, it was just a singing mini game.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Anyway, no, I'll give it a good shot.
Sure.
Hypeometer, I'd say I'm about like a 65, 70.
Sure. I'm gonna maintain myself at like 80 degrees. I'm so excited about this. The music and everything else looks good.
There's just other stuff coming out here this year that I'm just more interested in.
Yeah, and I like I said before, I honestly typically don't see these live action films like when they come out, but if the Legion wants it, if people who are watching this really want us to go see it, please let us know as I knock that in the comments and just be like, hey, we'd love to have you go see Aladdin so we can talk about it on a show or do a review or whatever else. But I don't know. We'll have to see about this. I think the Genie is the make or break for a lot of people on this. And it's unfortunate to put it even on somebody like the superstar shoulders of even Will Smith to perform, in this same arena. It'd be one thing if Robin Williams were still alive and they would have done this still, or if they would have tried to get him in on it, because at least, he could coach Will and be like, hey, or give his seal of approval or whatever it is. But I think that there's not going to be too many people who are excited about this Genie, but who knows?
Yeah,
maybe it'll still be great. Who knows? Yeah.
I think Will Smith will put a really charming twist on it, and I think he's going to be it's Will Smith. I have a lot of respect for Will Smith. He is going to be very respectful with this character. He's going to do his best. I have no doubt that Will Smith will be able to bring this character to life. Not worried about that. A little bit worried about the rest. I'm afraid of Aladdin and Jasmine falling flat.
We'll see. And I hope all it does is basically provides a really great opportunity for these actors who might not have otherwise gotten a chance, especially for like a Western based film, weirdly, because that's like who made it, like, the Disney folks, but like picking people from this actual region and giving them a shot as opposed to just saying like, oh, nope, we can only have the white actors that we know and love can be in this. Because like, I don't even know who you would have cast if you would have tried to still keep it with like,
oh, there would have been, people would have been pissed.
Yeah, it would not have like, it's like, okay, who's a good singer? Ewan McGregor, but like, who are you gonna put him as like Jafar? Like,
we're gonna have Ryan Reynolds be the Genie.
Oh my! See, yeah, people would have, and that's funny because like, and then you think like the Genie, you're like, but Genie was Robin Williams. Oh God, Deadpool and Genie would make me. I wouldn't see it. That would be me out. I'd be like, I'm sorry, Ryan. I'm not even gonna see Pokemon. Like, I'm out, man. I don't want to do this.
You'll see Pokemon.
I don't know if I'll see it in theaters.
We'll see it together. We'll go on a Tuesday.
Yeah, $5 Tuesday. I'll be like, Levi, I'll pay for you to go see this in theaters on Tuesday.
What was I gonna say? What were we talking? Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds Genie. Yuck.
Yeah, so they'll do Ryan Reynolds as Genie. They'll do like Kristen Stewart as Jasmine.
Like,
and then they'll do
Kristen Stewart, I'm sorry.
They'll do like Josh. They'll do Michael Cera as Aladdin, and then they'll do Dakota Fanning as Jasmine. Just
that. There we go. My nightmare. I feel bad for Kristen Stewart. And I know she's not the greatest actor.
Okay, Emma Stone is gonna be.
Dude, I was gonna say Emma Stone. She would have been great. Like, I just love Emma Stone, but even she would probably be like, "You're joking. I can't. I'm not gonna. This would be career suicide." She's great in La La Land. I've heard.
I need to watch that. Yeah,
haven't watched it. Levi, we're moving on to something else that I also didn't watch but need to comment on because everybody's losing their freaking minds. What?
Question for you before you move on: have you seen Wayne?
Huh?
Wayne, it's like a YouTube original. Is it with Batman? Is it with Bruce Wayne?
I haven't seen it. No.
Okay, anyway, carry on. We'll come back to that.
Nintendo Direct, Levi. Nintendo Direct. Let's just run down the list of games they announced here because everyone is losing their minds over one specific game. I think we all know what that game was. Do you remember what game it was, Levi?
What game?
Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening remake. A remake for this game that some people love and some people didn't know about or hated. I don't know. Let me be honest. Huh?
Go ahead.
Let me be honest with everybody listening to this. We're going through a time right now of remakes and stuff. It's really cool for the people who love these old games. It's really cool for people who've never gotten to experience them for the first time. I'm not one of the people that you're targeting with this. Like Resident Evil 2 Remake to me looks really pretty. I'm just not interested in the content. Same here with Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. I'm not really interested in going back to play an older like Zelda. For me personally, I kind of like to move forward with it. That's why Breath of the Wild felt so good to me. And the art style of this, while I like the anime cutscene for the intro, which I think looks pretty cool, I think for the rest of it, it's just not for me. Levi, you saw some of this stuff. What do you think about it?
Well, it's interesting that they're using the same art style that they used for the remake they did on the 3DS, Link to the Past 2.
Yes? I don't know.
I think it was someone will correct me, but it was like you could go flat. I think it was A Link to the Past too. Anyway,
but this one's more like a Harvest Moon 64, like claymation-y, kind of shiny, blobby.
That's the kind of that's what they used. That's
okay. When
they did the remake for the 3DS, that's the art style they had. It was kind of like almost like a chibi doll kind of deal. Yeah. It looks interesting. Link's Awakening was probably one of the first Zelda games I ever played for Game Boy. So it's probably one of the first ones I ever picked up, and super lost. Back then I didn't know how to beat it because I didn't have a guide or anything like that.
So you didn't beat it?
I don't think I beat it, no. But I'm interested to play the remake. Yeah. Okay. I mean, anything on the Switch, like I love having things that I love having games on the go. So
sure. Super Mario Maker 2 coming soon. A lot of people are excited about this.
Yeah, the first one was fun. I mean, I was waiting for this to come out on Switch. I had a lot of fun playing it on the Wii U. And it's going to have even better like functionality on the Switch. So it's fun to make your own levels and stuff. It got a little boring though, after a bit for me, just making these levels and then just playing them. And yeah.
Did you play a lot of other people's levels?
Not really.
Okay.
No, maybe that's just because like I wasn't like as invested in the console, so I didn't spend a lot of time with the Wii U. So maybe.
So I think this is kind of in lieu of making like just Super Mario come straight to Switch, because a lot of people are just like, just port that to Switch. And I like that Nintendo's doing this because it seems like a lot of these things are getting a second life on the Switch, which is great, like Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. But with this, it's like, let's just do a sequel, of sorts.
Yeah.
Like, good on you. Good on you guys.
People have made some really cool levels, and it's really interesting to see what the fans are capable of. Sure. And it's a cool concept that Nintendo lets you sandbox Mario.
For reference for everybody, when I would kind of look at this or play this or hear about this, I always enjoyed it when they actually went to like the full 3D Mario stuff, like the actual effects. I just don't like the 2D stuff. It's too old for me. I don't like that retro stuff. I really don't. I'm taking a hard stance. Fire Emblem's Three Houses coming out in July. There we go.
I don't really have a lot of feelings for Fire Emblem anymore. I enjoyed the ones for Game Boy Advance.
Dude, I was going to say, that's the only retro thing that I like. Well, kind of retro, but yeah. I loved how that was set up. It was a little kind of like a chessboard and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't like the 3D stuff too much.
That's why Wargroove is doing really well on Nintendo right now. It's probably it's like the first. I think it's like the top one of the top downloads now.
I might have to look at that game, because if it's kind of like it's good.
Next time I see you, I'll have to let you play it, see what you think.
Try it.
It's decent. Yeah, they really did a good job with it, and it's the people that made Stardew Valley. So if you like Stardew Valley at all, it's a lot of the same sprites and stuff.
Really?
So
okay, cool. Yeah. Astral Chain coming from Platinum Games. It's their new kind of Bayonetta-esque fighting.
Astral Chain.
Astral Chain. So like. What's the term they use for these types of games?
I saw a little bit about this.
Like Devil May Cry, or these types of games, like these like action hero games where you're kind of like, it's third person and it's all crazy and over the top and stuff. Again.
Oh, it's very Japanese influenced.
Yeah, which is not bad.
Yeah. Not bad, no. Yeah. But I'm also like, some of those games just don't do it for me.
Yeah. Yep, same here. It's fine. I already kind of like picked my horse for this year for that. For me, it's Devil May Cry 5. Not that you have to pick just one. It's just that I usually like to kind of pick one and dedicate myself to it. And I honestly didn't really like Bayonetta's like control too much.
I am not a fan of Bayonetta, no.
I just didn't like how it felt. I like my Devil May Cries. Give me my Virgil.
Well, Bayonetta was like Nintendo's attempt at like a God of War, right?
Well, kind of. Okay, so the first Bayonetta was cross-platform, and then Nintendo bought it up, and so Bayonetta 2 came out specifically for Wii U, I believe.
Yeah.
And then kind of keep going on with Bayonetta 3. Dragon Quest Builders 2 coming to the West on the Switch. Perfect. This is what we're talking about. Take your old school like concept and stuff, like not that Minecraft's old school, but like, and give it this kind of gloss and stuff. I still need to beat the first one. That first game is so freaking long. But I think my sister wants to play this game, and I think they also put this information out there to offset the fact that they have no Animal Crossing news. It's like, we have Dragon Quest, like you can still build towns and stuff. And people are like, it's not Animal Crossing.
That's going to be the next direct, yeah. That'll be
sure.
more like a May kind of talk about, yeah.
And then Final Fantasy 9, is that out today? No, wait.
Today. Yep, it launched today.
Holy crap. While Final Fantasy 7 is coming out on March 26th.
Yep.
And
then 8. In April 10, either the Zodiac Age comes out in April, I believe, or 10 or 10-2 does. One of them, yeah.
Okay. New Tokyo RPG Factory, their game, which is called Oninaki. I want to say I hope that's pronounced that correctly.
It's funny. It's good timing. I was just talking to you about how I was itching for like a good RPG to play.
Oh yeah, no, Nines. Yeah, we'll see. You have to just not the Kingdom Hearts is like a classic RPG. Just get through it so you can sleep, because that's how I felt. Like after I was done with it, I was like, thank God I beat this. Like,
yeah,
like, it exists and I beat it, and now I don't have to be like spoilers. I can just look at anything now.
Yeah.
Those are the big things that we've heard for this direct, which seems pretty crazy. It almost feels like an E3 direct, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I haven't mentioned every little thing in here. I just want to mention those big things. Again, don't take my words, especially about Link's Awakening, to be anything bad. It's just I see all these people doing all these reaction videos like, oh my God, it's happening. And like, that's great for you. But I don't know what that would be for me. I've talked about this before. Would it be like Pokemon Snap? Would I be like, oh my God, like that might be it for me, because that's like N64.
No,
you know?
Link's Awakening is very, very 2D Ocarina of Time. I don't think that you... Yeah, I don't think that you will care for it. It's a lot of dungeons.
Ocarina of Time is not a good game. Everyone who still thinks it is wrong. It's not good.
It's like a 10 out of 10. It's a classic.
Have you played it recently? Play the original version recently.
I played it a million times.
On 3DS, though.
And, well, I mean, like, at least 10 times on N64.
Water Temple.
4 times on GameCube.
That's because you didn't know better as a kid. Water Temple, boot switching, the fact that the open world has like nothing in it. I know it was like an N64 and it pushed the boundaries. I appreciate it for that fact, but by today's standards, it is hot
boot
garbage.
Switching is nice on a 3DS. You could just click a button.
Yeah, and guess what? I wanted to play the original because everyone's like, it's the best game. You know what? It's one of the greatest games is Super Mario 64, and guess what? That game holds up. That game knows. That game's got better, like as good jumping mechanics as Odyssey.
We have to agree on everything, James. So that's
Odyssey,
the beauty of it.
But then again, as a hypocrite, not a hypocrite. Super Mario Odyssey is not a 10 out of 10. If you're listening to this and you think it's
not a 10 out of 10,
it is not. Anyone who thinks it's a 10 out of 10, I'm sorry. You don't. It's okay. We just think different things.
I just a side note. I really do like that Nintendo tried to do something different with Super Mario Odyssey. I will give them that. They tried something out. You know, they tried to push that in a different direction. Cool with that.
Sure. That's why I love Breath of the Wild. Push a new direction, baby. That's what Ocarina of Time probably felt like.
Did you like Oracle of Seasons or Oracle of Ages?
I did play those back in the day. I remember thinking they were cool. I kept getting the Triceratops as my pet or my buddy.
Yep.
And I kept thinking I wanted the blue bear.
Not Ricky. I don't remember his name now.
And I wanted the blue bear that could fly, or the kangaroo. But I never got them. But I liked those games. That was, when I was younger. Again, I'm just going to pretend that everyone who played Ocarina of Time is how I felt with Breath of the Wild, where it was like, this is really incredible.
If you find yourself in the need of like a game to play, I mean, this might be something that I'll lend you, and then you don't have to pay for it, and you can play it.
We'll see.
But I don't think that you should buy this game.
I don't know. It just I'm also not a huge fan of this art style personally.
Yeah.
It's just not. It ain't for me.
Just let me lend it to you, and you can try
it. We'll see. I want you to. You don't have to worry about that. When is it's coming out?
It's not for a bit, so I got some time before it comes out.
Sure. I know that still people, again, all this information comes out and people are still like, where's Animal Crossing? And I'm sure Nintendo knows, and they're like, it's coming. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Well, that's their smash of this year. They need a blockbuster. So it's going to come out in like fall or late fall, Christmas time, I'm assuming.
Yeah. Yep.
People are really clamoring for Animal Crossing.
Yeah, I think it's the last thing besides Metroid that people can fight for on Nintendo that hasn't come up yet. And that got pushed back because Nintendo even came out and they're like, hey, it's not exactly what we want for Metroid Prime 4, and we're like starting over development completely. And it's like, okay, well, thanks for the heads up, everybody.
In 10 years, yeah.
Wouldn't it be great if like Phil Spencer came out and he's like, hey guys, the new Fable reboot isn't going the way we want it to, so we're gonna start it over. It'll be like, well, there's a Fable.
What they did with Legends? They were like, this isn't how
that's we want it. Okay. I've heard this from other people in the industry, but Fable Legends was a game that was like, it was basically done. and they just didn't release it. And it was like, and I played a little bit of it like for a demo, and I was like, this isn't bad. This is pretty fun. It kind of had that Evolve flavor. It just didn't.
Where'd you play it?
It was a demo. You could download a demo.
What?
There was like an alpha or a beta or something. Yeah, you could play the game.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was just a hot minute. It was pretty fun. It was all right, but yeah, that Fable, Phil, I know you're watching. Let's do it. Let's make some Fable. They know. They're making a God of War, dude. Fable's gonna show up and it'll just be like, ho, 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 and everything like Fable. It'll be like, it's very serious now.
I'd love to see what they could do with Fable with today's technology.
Oh my god, it's like that Harry Potter game, dude. Like, again, not a huge Harry Potter fan.
Yeah,
I play the Harry Potter game.
Like, is that gonna be renounced?
That we need some more on that, you know, like that and the Star Wars stuff. It's like these huge things that are just like we know exist, but they're like, we'll talk about it later. And it's like,
yeah, that Harry Potter game, the graphics for that looked nuts. So I'm excited to see that come to life.
And then conversely, the Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 game looks like a mess.
Yep. Yeah.
So sad. I wish it could be on any other console. I love you, Switch, and I'm glad you made it happen. But at the same time,
they're like bringing Baldur's Gate and stuff like that to. They're re-releasing them.
That's cool.
I'm gonna fact check that, but I thought
that'd
I just
be cool
read that somewhere because I remember playing Baldur's Gate with you guys.
Yeah, man. I used to play the Dark. I only play a little bit, but I play as like the Dark Elf. I think is that it. I always like the Dark Elf archetypes in games, dark magic and stuff. It's so cool. I love it. Yeah, but anyway, a pretty cool Nintendo Direct. I think all around. Again, if you're still waiting for Animal Crossing, you're not excited about the fact that you don't know more information. I'm sorry. But I'm sure that thing is going to get its own Direct. Like, I think Nintendo is probably compiling all the information on that, and they will really just be like, hey, it's a Nintendo Direct, like Smash Brothers style. And be like, here's a 25-minute thing. Here you go. So don't worry, guys. It's coming. It's coming. I will say this, though. Nintendo does they're getting savvy with their marketing, because I think having these Directs pop up every once in a while and people aren't sure when it's going to happen is a way to light the internet on fire for just a day or two and then just kind of come back and then just do it again and just go away, where they're kind of always, present, where Sony and Microsoft aren't doing something quite like this. So good on you, Nintendo. I appreciate the strategy. All right, Levi, let's move in to the last thing we wanted to talk about here today. Do you remember what that was?
No.
Outer Worlds?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So Outer Worlds
76 should have been.
Yeah, so that's kind of what we want to talk about here for a little bit, because when Levi sends me, something, and he says like, please read this and watch this video, I always get excited because I'm like, oh, cool, like, there's that like excitement around it. And this article came in from I wouldn't say a friend, acquaintance, Ben Hansen from Game Informer. I actually did a show with him called Game Sharks a little while ago. We're doing another one soon. It's exciting. But he wrote this thing up because he got to talk to the guys who are behind Outer Worlds. Now, these individuals are the ones behind, I believe, original Fallout New Vegas, and they've been working on this game for a long time. And they started back in, it sounds like 2015, working on this game and building it up. And if you watch the trailer for it, which I recommend you do, it definitely has that Fallout vibe, especially Fallout New Vegas, where it's first-person shooter. You're going around, you're talking to NPCs. The NPCs look really good, which is nice. And there's a lot of like player choices, and one that I love is where it's like two people are standing there and they tell you to make a choice, and the person shoots one of them, and like a third party, I think, or somebody's like, you didn't have to do that. Like,
yeah,
I
chuckled at that.
I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
But they've been getting a lot of interesting feedback insofar as Fallout 76. Now, Levi, what exactly have we been hearing from them about this?
Well, I know there's a really big fan base for Fallout New Vegas, and people were big fans of that game. So the fact that they're redoing it in a different way I think it's going to be really interesting, because I don't know how they're kind of getting away with like taking all this like almost Fallout ideas. And I mean anybody can do a post-apocalyptic world, but yeah.
Well, it's set in space, but the interesting thing I think was more so how they talked about the backlash of Fallout 76 and how their game is getting bolstered.
Yeah. Yep. Just they weren't what was it? They weren't super happy about it. Because they didn't think that he should have taken as much heat as they were dishing out. Yeah.
Well, and the fact that they said that like they didn't plan for it to come out like with this information right as Fallout 76 came out, because Fallout 76 nobody knew about until E3.
They were planning these storyboards like years ago, and then all of a sudden.
Well, sure, yeah, they said like back in the summer they had like the whole like from the creators of Fallout. They're like, we didn't mean to be like, hey, we're Fallout but better, and I think this happens in the game industry, probably the movie industry too. Sometimes the movie industry is weird because there's like the same script or two scripts floating around that are the same, but where things get made and they come out at the same time and they seem like very similar, or one seems like the better version of the other.
Jungle
Book. Huh?
What?
Nothing.
I said Jungle Book.
Yeah, Mowgli. I still gotta watch Mowgli. I'm gonna do it one of these days. Just it's not today. I love you, Andy Serkis. I really do. But I thought it was kind of cool for them to kind of say like, hey, you know what? We don't want to like have our game just be, strengthened by the fact that everyone just hates this other game. And they're just like, hey, this company sucks. This other company gets it. And this game sucks. And this other game is better.
What they realize is like, and they admitted it too. They're like, they took Fallout in a direction that it wasn't wrong of them to do it. And it wasn't right of them to do it. It was they want to focus on, for Outer Worlds, what people really liked about Fallout New Vegas. And that's what people are freaking out about. They're like, yes, this is what we wanted. Cool, do it.
Yep. Yeah. I think that was so smart of them to say. And I love that in that video, they even say like, yeah, we saw what people liked from Fallout New Vegas and people wanted this. And we said, how can we give that to them like in the best possible way? And they didn't like hide it. They didn't say like, well, we are inspired by past games that we've worked on. But they're like, no, this is the game that people liked, and this is the game we liked, and we wanted to take that idea and really build upon it. And that to me is exciting, because I look at that and it's like, okay, let's do something a little bit better with this series, because Fallout to me never really felt like big steps, and then 76 felt like kind of a step to the side and a step back for the franchise, whereas this seems like a weird spiritual successor to like the core tenets of what Fallout is. Mm-hmm. Which is really interesting. Again, I'm not a huge Fallout fan, so I can't come in and be like, this is clearly what people want. But it seems to be that way. And people seem to be really excited about it. And I'm really hopeful for it, because I hope it really scratches that itch for people who haven't really felt that since New Vegas, or maybe even Fallout 4 to some degree. Like, Levi, you played 4. Did you play Vegas?
I did not play Vegas. I played like a minute of it, but okay. I played a lot of 4.
Sure. Yeah. And does this look like what you want, or is this not?
This definitely looks like something I wanted. This is what I wanted as a follow-up to Fallout 4. This is what I thought I was getting with Fallout 76 until we started getting closer to the release of Fallout 76, and I was like, oh no. And then it was released, and I was like, great, okay.
Yep. That Fallout 76 is how I viewed all the other Fallout games. I'm so sorry. It's like all the bugs, all the problems, and none of the fun. Like, that's how I always felt.
I didn't experience any of that with 4, though.
I didn't play a lot of 4.
Yeah.
I played 3.
I was really into 4. It was my first like real experience with Fallout. So
I think it was Skyrim that might have been buggy for me or something, but I remember 3 being just so dour, and I felt it felt barren, and that's, I don't know what it is, because like I would say in a lot of portions of Breath of the Wild it's kind of barren, but there's something like so enticing about the exploration in that game that I actually cared about doing it. But in Fallout I didn't want to. I was just like, I don't want to be out in this world. Like, but this game looks cool because it's not even post-apocalypse. It seems like another world, and it seems kind of satirical. It kind of has like just a drop or a pinch of Borderlands vibe. Like everything is a joke. But not like every 6 seconds it's another meme. Like, it's not like that. It's like, no, it's better, which is like, thank goodness. Like, oh gosh, we don't need any more of that. But yeah. Anyway, how are you feeling about Outer Worlds right now, man? Give me that hypometer.
Yeah, I'm at a pretty good like 80%, 85. So.
Cool, nice. I don't know. I probably won't play either way, so I'm just going to put out a flat 50. I'm sure it'll be great. I'm sure I'll enjoy the streams in which you watch it. I got to be honest. I don't want to lie, Levi. I don't want to tell people I like a thing when I really don't like a thing, because then I'm a liar. Yeah. I don't want to be a liar, because then Davy Jones will call me a liar when we're playing Liar's Dice. He'll be like, you are a liar. And I'll be like, classic. Liar's Dice. Man, they took that out of Red Dead Redemption 2. It's in the first Red Dead. It's a good game, man. You ever play Liar's Dice, Levi? Okay. Speaking of,
like Gwent?
Oh, it's about that. Yeah, dude. You want to play a game of Gwent? Anyway, speaking of Gwent, let's move into that segment of the show that I like to call, that you like to call, Do you want me to do it?
You go ahead and do it, buddy.
Time Killers. Okay, I hope everybody heard that. It's Time Killers. It's time for Time Killers. The games we've been playing, the movies we're watching, TV shows we've been viewing. I want to bring this up because you brought it up. Gwent Witcher played as Geralt of Rivia in Monster Hunter World. Free update. Holy freaking Foley, baby. It is good. It is so, like, you can play with like any of your own weapons, or you can play with like his silver sword, and they actually make it like a Witcher questline mission.
Really?
And like it's fully voice acted every time he picks up something, or like it seemed like most of the time when he'd pick up something, you can pick up the herbs which you'd normally make a potion, and he's like, never seen this herb before. Wonder what kind of potion it makes. Like dialogue for all that, and he talked to the NPCs in the world, and you do an actual quest. And if you haven't played this yet, and if you're worried about spoilers, then just skip over this. But you do track down my absolute favorite monster in Witcher, and I pieced it together myself because I love it so much, and it's a Leshen. Now, a Leshen is a spirit of the forest that's got like this dead deer skull, and it's like an 8-foot tall humanoid. It can summon roots to attack you. It usually has crows and wolves that can come out of nowhere and attack you, and it teleports around. But because it's, in Monster Hunter, it summons little baby Jagras, like the yellow little lizards who attack you. And it's got these vultures that attack you, like the birds from the game.
Mm-hmm.
It's so cool, but you have to go through all these little things to find it first.
They put this monster in the game. They
put this monster in
the
game.
Monster.
They made it, and it's different than any other monster. It's not just like, oh, they just reskinned this other one. It's like, no, they made this freaking thing just for this. And it's like, just for free. I
remember talking to you guys about this. I was like, hey, did you guys see that this Witcher stuff was coming? You guys were like, oh, yeah. And then I was like, okay.
Because they're like, play as Geralt. And I thought, oh, it'll just be, you can dress up as him. Which, by the way, if you do get his full armor set for your actual hunter, you just look just like Geralt of Rivia. And it's just like, what? But then getting in there, and they're like, yeah, you're going to play as Geralt. This is like a solo mission. And I don't know if you can go hunt the Leshen as a group. You might be able to. But it was so fun to get that. And also, and I don't know if they recorded new music, Levi, but they had Witcher music playing when you fought him. It was like that kind of like that lady kind of like the chanting and stuff. It was like, am I playing like a Witcher game? Like, it was so cool. I was like, this is incredible. It's so good. And as a fan, it just felt like a really nice handshake. It felt like, oh my gosh, I love both these franchises, and it seems like a perfect marriage. And Geralt coming back with just beautiful voice acting and just seemed to fit into this world perfectly. And it's so brief, but it feels so good. Oh my god!
Damn it! I'm gonna have to play Monster Hunter again.
I'm gonna try to put this video up for people to see, because it is, dude, it's good. I was like, I didn't get to hunt the greatest Jagras though. I screwed up on that. It was a timed event where you could fight like a super big Jagras. But playing as Geralt, and I think it's just there forever. I could be wrong on this. They're just like, yeah, just play whenever. And I was like, and we bought this game over a year ago, Levi. A year ago. And they're still just and this should have been paid for. Like, thinking back on this, if they're like, hey, Jimmy, do you want to play as Geralt of Rivia and hunt a Leshen? I'd be like, maybe I'll pay $5 for that personally. But like, to go through this and like have Geralt say, I think it's a Leshen, and then see the Leshen come out and like fight it in the Monster Hunter world, it just doesn't get much better for me. Like,
how well did I haven't really looked into it. How well did Monster Hunter do, like, with sales?
Really well. So remember when we kept kind of like, not as crazy as some of these other ones, but it has sold over 10 million copies.
Okay.
And remember, every time we'd sign back, it was like, hey, you got a new like special bonus, and then you look at the top and be like, over 6 million copies sold. Like, it did very well, especially here in the West. I think it really like kind of made a foothold, and it's like, oh my gosh. So
I want a game like that to be recognized. So
when Iceborne expansion comes out in this, like in the fall, I am buying it day freaking one. Come to Twitch, I will be streaming it. I will be like, let's go, let's fight the ice monsters. Like, yes. I just love it, and every time I jump back in that game, it feels so great. And new festivals and stuff, like the whole like Celestial Pursuit, the Innistrad, the ship is all decked out, and like your handler's in a huge like cat Palico outfit, which is hilarious because Geralt's talking to her seriously and she's in this full cat outfit. And it's like, yeah, man.
I don't know. If I get back into that again, I feel like I might have to start over.
No, why would you start over?
I don't know, because like I feel like it would be a lot to get back into without.
You can hunt any monster at any level. You don't have to start over. Don't start over. There's no point.
Are you sure?
Yes, because it's like you could fight a regular like 1-star Jagras, a great Jagras by like today with your upped gear to relearn how to play it. You'd be fine.
Okay.
Don't start over. There's no incentive to start over.
I'm rusty. I feel rusty.
You can, dude. Just you shake the rust off. You get back in there, do a couple of fights, and you're ready to go, baby. Just find a bear off or two, and yeah, man. Oh, yeah, Monster Hunter's great. Also, I kind of alluded to it before. I watched Wreck-It Ralph 2, Ralph Breaks the Internet. Wasn't a huge fan of the first one. Again, I'm not big into retro games, you guys know. This one it was a lot less about the games. It was a lot more like, oh, Google and, like eBay and all this stuff. The princess part was by far the best part. The writing and the jokes for that were just pitch perfect. But the movie itself didn't really like blow me away. There was a message in it, but it kind of popped up at the very end. It didn't really go throughout. And it just seemed like a lot more of just, let's just do a lot of kind of topical humor, which I was like, yeah, that's fine. But besides that, just continuing my Planet Earth 2 stuff, man. Animals are so cool. Like
Planet Earth 2?
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Oh.
It's like those documentaries by David Attenborough. They're narrated by David Attenborough, Richard Attenborough's brother.
I didn't know they made a second one. That's cool.
Yes, dude, check it out. Or Blue Planet 2. They looked so good, like the high def cameras and stuff, and all these animals. It's like, so cool. Yeah, that's pretty much all the stuff that I feel like talking about. All right, Levi, what have you been killing time with?
Oh man, okay. So too much on my plate. So we got Resident Evil 2. We have Kingdom Hearts 3.
Good.
We got Chrono. Still playing Overwatch. I finally beat Pokemon.
Who's your team in Pokemon?
I ended up with Zapdos, Dragonite, Venusaur, Mr. Mime. Yeah, it was Clefable. I went really out there this time. I just went different. And then who was my last?
Pikachu.
Eevee. No, I got rid of Pikachu right when the game started.
Wait, did you get Eevee or did you get Pikachu?
I got Pikachu. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you got Eevee.
Because I wanted Sandslash.
Oh, okay. Did you have Sandslash on your team?
I did for a bit, but I replaced it.
I wanted Sandslash. Okay, is he on your team?
Not anymore. Love Sandslash, but he's just not great as a fighter.
Not true. I think Sandslash.
Yeah, if you get the level I was at, he didn't have Earthquake yet and stuff. So, I can't think of who the sixth person was now.
Really stuck with you then.
It was a very eclectic group of Pokemon. So
your rivals like you beat me, and you're like, I don't even remember who's on my team.
Oh yeah, and then it was Clefable, Zapdos, Dragonite, Mr. Mime, Venusaur, and then I can't think of the last one.
And
Marowak.
Marowak. Oh, okay.
Marowak. Yeah.
Cool. Nice.
Yep. Just kind of went out there. So
you're watching anything lately? Netflix? Anything like that?
Yep, I watched Sex Education. That was really good. It was a British kind of comedy. It's only been out for like one season, so it was a Netflix original. Check it out. It's pretty funny.
I tried watching Big Mouth.
Big Mouth. I haven't heard of that one.
It's like an animated, like one on Netflix.
Okay.
Kind of raunchy. I don't know.
No, I haven't heard that one. Started Westworld. Super confused.
Yeah.
Also, have I been watching? Still watching Smallville.
Sure. You want to know what else is confusing? Crimes of Grindelwald. I'm sorry. All right, sorry. It's not good. It's not good.
It's not. I told you.
I don't know how it could have been worse than Fantastic Beasts, but they did it. And did you know they're making they're avataring this? It's going to be 5 movies altogether.
Yeah.
5? Why? Why?
Well, if they can really do like a Jude Law against Grindelwald,
can you do that for 3 movies?
You could at least do it for 1. Give me at least 1 movie with that.
Oh my gosh! Somebody needs to just freaking rope in Rowling or Rowling. Just be like, you gotta stop. You gotta.
You gotta stop.
You have.
It's like the people who make Assassin's Creed. You gotta stop.
Ubisoft even got that. They're like, we're gonna wait. We're gonna wait. Hopefully, they won't make one this year. Please don't.
Yeah.
Ubisoft.
Yeah. Don't Far Cry it.
Yeah, New Dawn.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's what
All
I'm
right,
doing.
that's what we've been killing time with. All right, excellent. Well, now we get to move into my favorite segment of the show, community feedback and questions. And questions. Sorry. Okay, we're just gonna do a question here because I asked people like what I asked people what they would change, if anything, about the Disney live action movies, or like what they didn't like. Didn't get any responses, so I'm just gonna assume that everybody out there loves it. Unless you want to leave me a comment and let me know what you don't like about the Disney live action films. This one comes in from Missile Mage, our good buddy Missile Mage. He says trailers are an art form in themselves. I agree with that, Missile Mage. And I can often find myself watching them several times over just because the trailer itself is such a good piece of entertainment. Are there any trailers, film, game, or otherwise, that you go back to because you just enjoy watching them? Last of Us Part 2 announcement trailer I watched so many times despite, at the time, having not played the first game because the trailer was so good. I also really enjoyed the Force Awakens trailer because the escalation just gets me every time. Levi,
I will agree. Force Awakens was great. Huge fan of Infinity War trailer. I don't even know how many times I saw the trailer for Infinity War.
Yeah, or you see like when that part where Thanos like Destiny, like you try to deny it, and it's like Thanos over, and he's just like the
it starts off with Nick Fury talking about I had an idea, like it was very like
and it switches, and then it switches to, and they all stay apart, which I love that part where Thanos says like Destiny comes,
yes,
and he walks out of the portal, and you're like, oh my god, like
that trailer. I'm surprised you saw that trailer. Oh, you had to because you were in the theater. Yeah.
I've learned how to. I could just shut my eyes, but for those first ones, I usually watch like that was like the first trailer for it. Yeah. I was like, "Yep, here we go."
I showed Doug that trailer probably like 15 times because we would watch it because I'd probably show it to him after every single Marvel movie to kind of keep that in his head of like what's coming. So.
Yeah. So that one, is there any others that you like game wise? Anything like Warcraft or something? How about like Wrath of the Lich King? I know you're so into Wrath of the Lich King. Did you watch that a lot?
Not really. I'm trying to think of nothing from WoW. God, I know that there was a couple. Breath of the Wild. I watched the trailer for Breath of the Wild quite a few times. I watched the trailer for Pokemon also quite a few times. Pokemon Let's Go.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Because I love Pokemon.
See, I love Pokemon too, and it's probably one of my favorite games of all time, like Blue and Red. But seeing this, I was like, okay.
Yeah,
like,
I know you were underwhelmed, but I'm glad that they met your expectations.
For what this game was, they exceeded them just because I didn't have anything for it. I'm like one of those people who wanted like that third person, like down in the world of Pokemon to get like really immersed as opposed to being
where was that from Nintendo Direct?
That's going to be the next Pokemon, that Gen 8 one or whatever it is. Yeah.
I can't think of anything. Oh, Kingdom Hearts. Watched that trailer quite a few times too. Yeah.
Okay, I don't know if I did.
For 3. Oh yeah, you did it. Yeah.
I might have been just media blackout. There's too many spoilers.
Because it had that song in there that I really like that I know you don't care for, but I do.
I actually talked about that in my review that should be hopefully up by the time this goes out. So yeah, it's okay. It's not that it's bad. It's just that I don't like the Skrillex parts.
Okay, that's fair.
It's too like they double down on it too much, and it doesn't. Also, I don't think the theme song "Face My Fears" is a good song for what this is. I think Sanctuary was better.
Yeah, it was supposed to be Too Close.
Was that supposed to be the name?
No, she wrote a different one that they ended up not using Utada.
See, that sounds better to me because like this.
Don't think twice.
Yeah. That sounds better because this doesn't seem like Face My Fears to me. Like this, at least the game and like everything. It's not like Sora has to confront like his darkness for like it's not that like. So it just seemed like a bad name. Anyway, but yeah. Any other trailers or should I get into mine?
No, go ahead, buddy.
Arkham Origins, go watch it. You guys know I love Deathstroke. Obviously, you can see it here. Thanks, Anna, for this drawing. But
Origins,
one of the coolest Deathstroke things out there anywhere is watching Deathstroke fight Batman and then Deadshot get involved with that fight. It is incredibly good and it holds up really well. That is one I've watched a lot. I remember watching with my mom. watching Assassin's Creed, the first Assassin's Creed trailer, and I remember at the end of it, because he's kind of sneaking away, and all the like the priests come out, all the people do, and she kept thinking, she's like, oh, is he like all of his buddies are coming out? I was like, no, he's like getting lost in the crowd. I remember just being mesmerized by that trailer and watching it again and again. I was like, oh my god, this game like is so crazy and insane. And I mean, look at Assassin's Creed is here; it's still part of my life.
Yeah.
And Assassin's Creed trailers have always blown me away. Like, and I know they're not always completely indicative of like the actual gameplay, but one that is my absolute favorite is for a game that nobody even talks about. Assassin's Creed Revelations, the ending of Ezio's story, but it's this great song by Woodkid called Iron. You should check it out. It's a really good song, but check out this trailer. It's really fun because it's old man Ezio, and he is the most dangerous he's ever been, but he has these kind of like these fragments or flashbacks or these moments where it's almost I don't know what you could compare it to in film, but he sees Altair, and like while he's fighting all these dudes, he's killing tons of people, and then you'll see Altair, and then he kind of like loses his train of thought for a second, and then they kind of overtake him. And it's just such a good trailer, and every time I watch it, it always gets me hyped up. And I even tried to play Revelations recently, but the beginning had this stupid Desmond Miles crap, and I'm like, dang it, I just want to play this game.
Altair, from the first one?
Yes, he's the very first. He's this guy.
Like, did he ever come back in anything? Besides,
he came back in Revelations because you got to play as him a little bit and kind of see the past, but he didn't like come back if that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah. Revelations is really good. Arkham Origins is really good. Movie wise, songs really play a big part for me in movies. Fallout, Mission Impossible Fallout to be more specific. Friction by Imagine Dragons, which is a song I've always loved, fits perfectly with that. And they put the little Mission Impossible beat onto it too. But that trailer, especially at the end where the music gets crazy and you see him climb up the helicopter and stuff.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
It's just like, they're like, what's he doing? He's like, dun, 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 dun. And it's like, and they're all like thinking he's going to die. And the helicopter's like, they took that out of the movie. The helicopter's going right towards a semi truck or something. And they took that out. And I was like, but still, that trailer is like, yes, like, I love it. So yeah, that's probably one.
Think about this, but back in the day, back when dial-up was a thing,
yeah,
I remember waiting hours and hours for the Two Towers.
Dude, I was just gonna say this.
Okay, I think we were about to go.
Yes.
Do you remember the QuickTime player? It was like that little white.
Dude, yes.
It wouldn't load the video portion, but all I could hear was the audio. It was like, what? And the trailer starts like this. Please tell me if you remember this. What is a man, an elf, and a dwarf doing in the Ridden Mark? That's how the trailer starts. I will never forget it. Dude, I can't tell you how many times I repeated that trailer.
That song I used to listen to all the time. I forget the name of it. It was like that. Like, oh my god, it was. And then just Aragorn like throwing the doors open. It was like, what's happening? Like,
it ended up being in Return of the King, I think. But
no, that part where he like kicks the doors open, like when they think he's dead. Oh, yes. Dude.
And Chamber of Secrets, I really destroyed the repeat button on those trailers.
I remember seeing the first part of the Deathly Hallows trailer and people freaking out about that, and I thought it was kind of cool because like it ends with Voldemort. It shows like the end of that movie. I think like Voldemort like blows up like the lightning bolt. Is that how, like he gets the Elder Wand?
Yes.
Or is that maybe Deathly Hallows Part 2? Something like that, where it's like, oh wow, seems like a big deal.
I remember how jarring it was for me to hear their voices, Ron and Harry's voices.
Oh, they're older, yeah.
Yes, that freaked me out because I was like, whoa, what?
Ron, why are you doing this?
Yeah.
Well, Harry, I don't want to be part of the group anymore. Oh, you get out of here then. Hermione's mine. Yeah, that's how it sounded. It's just, man, is it like you're watching the movie right now?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's too funny though. Like that Two Towers one, seriously.
Dude, that Two Towers one is hot. Hot. It's so good. Oh my gosh. Lord of the Rings. That year wait felt like an eternity as a child. But now we wait so much longer for movies. But I remember like leaving the theaters after Fellowship and Two Towers. I'm like, oh my god, I have to wait another year. Like after Two Towers, I was like, how are they gonna top it? Like, and then they're like, you ain't seen nothing yet. Like, it's just, oh my gosh, escalation in your trilogy. That's how you do it. Yeah. I'm trying to think of another one. I'm sure there's one of the Spider-Men. I have them up here, Spider-Man, and probably or Revenge of the Sith. Maybe really spoke to me at one time, but Yeah, those are the trailers I go back to, but specifically that Assassin's Creed one is really good. Check it out. Assassin's Creed Revelations. Really good trailer. Iron, the song by Woodkid. Woodkid's a good group, by the way. Check them out. Yeah. Great question. If you ever have a question, though, please, always, or a topic that we could talk about here on the show, just tweet the hashtag Critical Podcast to either of us. You can tweet at the official account, which I run, which is at Go Critical. That's capital G, capital C, just like Go Critical, right? And then you can tweet at me personally. I'm at JimmyGood013. Tweet me something, just a word or maybe a phrase. Let me know how you're doing. I want to know how your day is going. Just you let me know how it is. But if you want to tweet something kind of maybe scandalous at Levi, where would they tweet at you, Levi? Huh?
I am at Levi Fletcher.
That's right. Lever, just like Beaver, only with a Fletcher. Yeah. Levi, what should people tweet at you?
Hi.
Okay.
Tell me what games you want to see me stream.
Oh, sure. What's the hashtag we should use for the show for if people watch this and they want to tweet at us and let us know they finished it?
I don't know.
Hashtag 2 Towers.
Hashtag 2 Towers. I like that. Yep.
Dude, 2 Towers. Oh, so good. Yeah, do that. Hashtag 2 Towers at us. If you guys are interested in supporting the show, one of the ways you can do that is going to our Spreadshirt and picking up a shirt just like this one. I kid you not. I do wear this obviously to kind of promote us, but I legitimately love this shirt. Like I wear it everywhere, and people are like, what is that? I'm like, oh yeah, it's Critical Reviews, my YouTube channel. Like, oh, it's all citrus. Do you talk about like oranges? Yes, yeah. I do. I review oranges. I'm like, this is a bad one. This is a good one. Who knows? Yeah. But head over to our Spreadshirt. You can pick up some merch, and if you do get some merchandise, please tweet us just a picture of yourself in the shirt or the hat or whatever you got. We'd love to see it. That just makes us smile, and we appreciate it. Yeah, let's thank the people who helped make this show a possibility. Thanks to Daleb for doing our theme music. We appreciate it. And thanks to the one and only Jorn Evers, the guy who does pretty much all the artwork you see here on the show. If you want to check out some of Jorn's work, you have to go check him out at Niraj, which is Jorn backwards 28, at Niraj 28, or at Jade Circle Art over on Twitter or Instagram. Great places to go see his work. Really excellent stuff. He actually just did my little Keyblade challenge I put on Twitter. So if you want to go on Twitter, you can see his Keyblade he designed, which is based off Jade Circle art. It's really, really cool to see that. But yeah, if you want to support Jorn and myself and Levi and everybody here at Critical Reviews, consider donating to us over on Patreon. We would love just $1. If you can throw us $1, that'd be great. If you can't throw us $1, share us with a friend. That would be awesome. That would be wonderful. We would appreciate that so, so much. And to everybody who's already donating or has bought a shirt or shared us around, thank you so much. We really, really do appreciate it. The only way we can grow really is by your support and to grow in a meaningful and, constructive way. That's the way, because we want to bring in more like-minded people who are understanding and they don't completely lose their minds if someone like me says they don't like Ocarina of Time or Ocarina. Ocarina? Do you say Ocarina, Levi, or Ocarina?
Both. I say both.
Okay. If you love Ocarina or Ocarina, that's fine. That's okay. We don't have to love the same things. I understand why people love it. I should say that. I respect why you love it. Same with Bloodborne. You love Bloodborne, you get after it. You have fun with it. All right, buddy? Yeah, that's right. It's for you. It's not for me. I just want to be able to sleep at night and not be angry and put my fist through the television for that Father Gascoigne. I beat him, by the way. I beat him. Anyway, they're like, people are like, that's like the second boss in that game. I'm like, I know.
He knows.
He sucks. He's the worst. Yeah. Anyway, I think that's pretty much everything. Levi, do you have any other final statements about the show or just life in general?
No. I mean, check us out. Yeah, we do a lot of streaming.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to mention that. I probably put up a thing about, but yeah, we're streaming. I stream typically weekdays. Levi's usually more weeknights, potentially on the weekends. Doing a Resident Evil 2. Would you call it a full playthrough, Levi?
Yes, it will be a full playthrough.
And it's not going to be that long because I think each path is like 6 hours and there's only 2 paths and you could like redo them and speedrun them. But watching it the other night and watching shout out to Fragadin, who is helping you kind of get through it. It was fun to watch you as a new timer play it, but to have someone on the side kind of help you out because it did make it feel more like a group thing, a little cozier than being like, hey, Levi, good luck with this game. Play it by yourself. Go figure out all the puzzles. You were like, I don't know what's the combination for this thing, to where to find it. And they'd be like, hey, go down the room. I'm not going to tell you everything, but you're going to want to go down to the left, and there's going to be something in there that you need. And you're like, oh,
games like this, I'm okay with people telling me stuff. Like it doesn't kill me to, you know, have the puzzle spoiled. So
sure. And
that's my least favorite part of those games.
Well, that it's survival horror, so like you as a player don't want to like burn through all of your ammo and just be like, I hate this. I don't have any guns and everything attacks me and I just don't know what to do. Where they could be like, hey, if you go over here, there's maybe some bullets or something. And you're like, thank you. Like, you're like, I appreciate that. So yeah, thank you to everybody who comes to hang out with us on Twitch. It's so much fun. Or I was playing Dante's Inferno the other day, and we just had this big long talk about Crimes of Grindelwald, and it was great. As we were playing a game about hell, we were talking about a movie that feels like it was made in hell. So just kidding. You guys over at WB, it's okay. You're figuring it. Eddie Redmayne, you know who you are. You're still a fine person. You're still fine. Anyway, thank you so much. Thank you, Levi, for putting up with me late on a weeknight like this. And until next time, everybody, just remember to adapt and overcome.